And we are live with some breaking news. It's not good breaking news. And I do have Rich on and DLD After Dark because he got noticed of it too. Actually, before I even noticed that I got noticed of it, he got noticed of it. Kind of weird, but whatever. Basically, this is what is going on. I got an article, and a couple days ago, Dark called me, and he's like, "Hey, man, Eforms is going down tomorrow." I was like, "Yeah, whatever. It's probably BS. I don't know the sources or whatnot." So I blew it off. And then I got email into my tip box, which is bstips@protonmail.com, that said, hey, basically said the same thing. And still, I couldn't go with it because I couldn't verify the source. And originally, I thought DLD's source was my source. Turns out, two different people. So the next day, exactly when I was told, Eforms went down. The same exact time Dark was told it was going to go down, it went down. So I still didn't have enough to go on. So I started doing some digging, and I got third-party verification that it is down, and it's not down for it's a scheduled outage. Like the servers are done right now.
It is indefinitely down. There's no time frame, even though it
There's
says
no time
there's
frame.
time frame.
The reason that was given was budgetary reasons, and I'm not going to go too much into it because it's not exactly true. There's more to it, which will be once we get the evidence of that, which I'm positive there's more to it. But once I get the evidence of that, it will definitely, I would definitely release it. I've already been talking to people in very high places about it. The third party that verified it is very, very legit. And I do know that some people were notified of it going down.
Yeah, I just
and it's not government shutdown nonsense, because they are still under the old budget until Friday, and it looks like there is a deal on a CR, continuing resolution, where the ATF will get their funding. There is a law during the last round of funding where there is
it's down for everyone. SOTs can't use it either. It is totally and utterly down.
Yeah, where there is where Congress actually stated that the money was going to be used, that they gave to the ATF should be used for Eforms, and now they are down.
Yeah, I want to credit Jonah with Big Mac Defense, because he was the one that had originally called me with the story on Tuesday early in the day, and this is kind of where it all started. So Jonah, shout out to you. And he's every day, dealing with NFA items. He's the one that brought this to me. So I appreciate you, Jonah.
So right now, you can't do paperwork for an NFA item. Period.
No.
You can do
E-form.
paper form.
You can only do paper.
Paper. Yeah, you can't do e-forms.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. Over the past few days, they've been processing e-forms incredibly quickly. Now, some people, there's no evidence of this, but some people are speculating that was them trying to clear out the backlog before the shutdown.
But the backlog is, I mean, they were approving stuff within like 1, 3, 5, 7 days. That's crazy. So their backlog is still there, but new forms were getting approved.
New e-forms were getting approved.
There were a lot of new e-forms that were reported to get approved. I didn't personally see any, but just being that we're kind of dealing around the industry, we hear about it all the time.
Yeah, this page right here, if you go to Eforms, this is what you're going to see. When Eforms gets turned off, it automatically redirects to this page. It's like a 404 page, basically. Yes, suppressor manufacturers are dead in the water as of right now. I talked to some suppressor manufacturers off the record, and they are not exactly happy. There are certain people in the industry that got a heads up about it. But yeah. But right now, it is dead in the water. It is down. There is no time frame. There are members of Congress that are aware of it and are talking about it. We started working on this a couple days ago, and when it went down, it was like, all right, it's go time. So I spent a lot of time, and if you realized yesterday on John Crump News, I kept on having to take phone calls, dropping off, stuff like that.
You mean John Crump
If you
Live?
wonder, John Crump Live, and if you're, and I was like, I can't talk about anything right now, but I will talk about it soon. Now I'm talking about it. So yesterday, if you're wondering why I kept on having to drop off and handing it over to Rich, this is the reason why.
So does this have anything to do with the $5 million that Congress granted to them to reduce their delay in processing forms?
I don't think so. I mean, the reason is budgetary reasons, but don't think that's that. I don't think that's the reason.
So
the reason will come out, but I don't think that's the reason. I just need to have proof before I insinuate anything.
Okay.
I go with 3 sources. The anonymous source I have and your source, when it actually went down, I'm like, okay, it's probably legit. We still don't know anything. Then I got a third party to confirm everything. It's not a hack. It was turned off on purpose. It was scheduled to be turned down, and it was turned down.
Yeah, they're the only ones that can turn it off like that. It's just very strange that 2 days in, there's literally no comment from them at all.
No. It's a 7-day with regular firearms with the NFA item that it's not at the business discretion to release the items. So NFA items, there is no business discretion. It cannot be transferred until it is approved.
So at what point is this just some massive amount of negligence? I mean, for me personally, I think anything and everything that the ATF does is an encroachment, including the NFA as a whole. And I know most of us here agree with that. But at what point does this become just such a massive scale of negligence that this is crazy?
Yeah. Interesting story. I had a friend that was denied multiple times. There is an appeals process that they put in effect because of Stephen Stambole's efforts. They had to make an appeals process to do it. So I have an article on the appeals process over at AmmoLand. If you want to know how to appeal it, I'm not sure what the hell will happen now, but that was to the work of Stephen Stambole.
If you can lawfully purchase a firearm, you can lawfully purchase NFA items.
Well, the thing is that there could be a delay, and with delays of firearms, after a certain amount of days, it just automatically gets approved.
Right. Now, John,
I'd be
you
willing-
have tax stamps that you've been waiting for an extended period of time. How long has that been?
Oh, well, right now I don't have any outstanding.
Oh, okay.
Before it was like 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
But that was because I screwed with them.
So you have information that the ATF was slow walking your specific tax stamps.
Yeah. The reason why you're getting that is because the servers are physically off. The reason why we're bringing this up to the public is to try to instill pressure to have them back on. They knew I was going to release a story on it. I made sure that they know. And yeah, it's
So
definitely
is
interesting.
there any reason, official, unofficial, that they've shut down the servers?
They said it's an unofficial reason, but what they're telling people behind the scenes, it's budgetary.
But they have money.
Yeah,
So the
I don't think that's
servers
the
that
I
make
don't
it
think
easy for them to process the forms are costing them money, so it's cheaper to do it by hand.
No.
that's not the I can guarantee you that's not the real reason, but that is the
Okay.
reason why they're giving. I can only give you the reason why they're giving. I heard another reason behind the scenes, but that's not the reason. But that is the reason why the ATF, Jonah's right, ATF have not made any public statements. Public, but they have talked to people behind the scenes.
He also said, and I agree with this. I know we touched on this earlier, but it says, interestingly enough, people who applied last year for stamps are still waiting, but they've been approving newer stuff pretty quickly, and we've seen some within a week or less. I think they're trying to lower their average wait time.
Might be.
Could be. Could it's anytime an e-form dramatically decreases, so it takes a few percentage points of the average time over the last couple of years. That's highly unusual. That's an interesting piece of data.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Could it be a server migration, a better system? No, that's not the reason why they're doing it.
Don't give the ATF excuses that they're going to use.
No, they're not going to use that one.
Yeah, they're going to come up with some type of ridiculous excuse.
Sunspots.
Sunspots. I think we're going to learn that it's got something to do with something money something.
They found out their servers weren't green, running on
server migrations are always done on the weekends at the ATF
or off hours specifically.
No, it's very. You can even look. It even says it right on the page.
So
second Tuesday of the month, eForms will not be available from Saturday. Following the second Tuesday of the month, the eForms will not be available Saturday 6 p.m. to Sunday 6 p.m. That's where they do all their.
So they have a maintenance window.
Yeah, that's their maintenance window.
So is there anything that we could say about what people are reporting this may be due to?
The reasons why I told you. Not yet.
Okay. So no.
Yeah, no, but right now they're just saying it's budgetary reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, that article is good. That's a 90-day NFA items. If it's not approved, it automatically. It's not moved to advance approved. So that is what is going on, but it is very critical that people know. I've already been Congress, people in Congress, and very high levels of Congress are aware right now.
So if the ATF, you're telling me the ATF can't afford the electricity to run the servers? Because what's a budgetary reason you can't run an online service?
I mean, what do you want me to say, man? I mean, it's just it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean,
the solar farm that was feeding the eForm server farm is down.
No.
Yeah, no. Something. Effery is at foot. That's what I believe.
Island Time 100 with the 199 super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, the reason there's a lot more to the story. This is not a one and done story. I'll post my story, the one that's circulating in Congress right now and stuff like that, and then you can, but it's not going to be a one and done story.
So you're saying there's more information to come? Stay tuned.
There's more information to come. Yes.
I just want to give a shout out again to Jonah with Big Mac Defense. Thank you for being aware.
Yeah, my other source is definitely not Jonah, so therefore there's multiple sources.
Yeah,
because you wouldn't tell me who the source was originally. Your source.
Yeah,
that's why I was wondering
if
that's what I was wondering if we had the same source. You're like, no, I can guarantee we don't have the same source.
Yeah, he hadn't talked to anybody else. And I mean, he's in there in Eforms all day dealing with NFA items and the fact. And on Tuesday when I did my
outage.
When I did my my live stream on Tuesday, at the beginning I was like, yeah, you know what, I may be talking about some ATF stuff, but I was like, I don't really want to just drop it prematurely. And then
Eforms and guns and Nix is two separate systems.
Yeah,
you can still buy a gun.
This is for NFA items.
Yeah, this is definitely just for NFA items, SBRs, all the kiosks everywhere that you go to, whether it's a silencer shop or people like XCal has their own kiosk.
Yeah.
John, would it be just like an hourly employee, like the lowest level employee at the ATF that said, I'm going to pull this plug out?
No, this goes up the chain.
Really? How high would it
go? I would say pretty close to the top, if not all the way to the top.
So could this potentially be have Diddlebug's DNA on it?
It could. We'll see.
Now, don't you think if they were Diddlebug was shutting down a service, he would have had some sort of announcement, hey, on Tuesday we're shutting this down because
there was a warning given out to certain people, but it was given out at a very late date.
And it was more so like industry people, like people within the industry saying it would be wise to clear out your NFA inventory as quickly as possible, because there's some people that are sitting on a very large.
In other words, fire sale this ish.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they're referring to only all legal purposes, but
right.
Yes. Like if a company is sitting on $500,000 of NFA inventory and can't move it, or let's just say Mr. SOT at home just drilled the third hole and they go to, fill out their form, two or whatever, form 2.
Well, they can still fill out a form. It would just have to be paper.
Got to be paper.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the Eforms shuts businesses down.
Especially certain businesses that run on they're just totally Eforms. And there's a lot of gun stores out there that are totally Eforms. They don't do paper forms anymore.
Just
the majority of them.
Here, how a business works, let's say you are a manufacturer of suppressors, you may not pay for your materials in cash. You may get a loan to buy raw materials or to pay machining time at a facility. And you're counting on sales to pay for that. This would be totally
catastrophic.
Throwing a wrench. Yeah, it would be catastrophic to a suppressor manufacturer.
Some could even say that this could be seen as an attack on the industry. I mean,
another 199 super chat from Island Time 100. Is POTUS responsible for this change in policy? I don't think it's POTUS this time.
I don't think POTUS knows what day of the week it is. How can he be responsible for this?
I would love to throw Joe Biden under the bus on this, but I don't think this is him.
Yeah.
Now, Jill Biden might know better.
I would be willing to bet most people outside of the ATF have no idea what's going on right now.
Yeah, well, I'm sure dealers do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much they know, but I don't think you can buy it. You won't be able to fill out the form. I'm sure it will get rectified because there is language in the bill, which if you read my article, I put the language in that, and there are groups and people working on this behind the scenes.
It's Hunter.
So that is interesting.
No, I don't think they're going to change the price of tax stamps. I'm pretty rock solid on that.
Yeah. So, well, they can't change the price on tax stamps.
Yeah, and no, there's been no dealer communications at all, which is funny because always, every time in the past, they would say, "Hey, FFLs, here's a notice," even when they don't
Oh
send
yeah,
out a notice and say that they send
yeah.
out notices.
I would get calls from FFLs. It's like, hey, I'm doing this training right now, and this is what they're saying. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm live watching this, and they would give me a call and give
Yep.
me information. There is nothing like that out there.
Or for an example, hey guys, polymer 80s are now firearms, right? But I mean, even though they didn't actually send that, well, Rich is back. Even though they didn't actually send that notice, and they said they sent that notice, but no one received that notice. Typically, they at least say that they sent notices out. So, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Happy belated anniversary, by the way.
It's definitely interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's kind of a big story, and it's going to be a bigger story. Trust me.
So we're working on further details that's going to come out sometime in the future.
Yeah, I mean, pretty soon. I'm going back and forth with some people.
So the message here is stay tuned. There's more to come, and it's going to get more interesting.
I should also
definitely.
within the next hour or so, I should also get some more info. So we'll see what we figure out. That's lots of effery afoot, and
the whole entire purpose of this video and the articles and everything is to try to get them to turn it back on.
yeah, or abolish the NFA, but
one has a lot greater chance of happening.
Yeah, we'll see.
So that's why I've been working with the people I've been working with today.
There you go, big fish, little boat.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
Although I think we're going to win. Re-listening to it, I think we're going to win.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on. We're changing subjects right now. You're talking about the Cargill hearing yesterday, bump stocks.
Yeah, I
You
think we're
think
going
we're going to
to
win?
Yes, but we're going to win, but we're going to lose at the same time.
So I'd be curious to learn more about what you mean by that.
Yeah, it's. I don't want to get into it right now, but I mean, I can see which way the justices are going after re-listening to it.
Well, shout out to Putang. Look
at
the
five of the four justices.
If I can't submit the form to pay for my rights, they've decided the NFA no longer exists. Man.
Well, you can submit a paper form.
Yeah.
I know.
Or hammer it into a stone tablet. That works also.
It's just poetic. Yeah.
And send it by carrier pigeon.
Shipping on that gets a little crazy. A slab of marble.
Yeah, but I mean, the further I went down the rabbit hole, the further I'm like, wow, this is something bigger.
Okay, so 2A EDU, going back to Cargill bump stocks, I got to say, the end of that, I was ready to cry.
Yeah.
But Crump thinks different. And
I left feeling the same way.
I think we're going to ultimately get a victory in it, but we're going to get bad dicta out of it on machine guns.
Yes,
So
they need more education on the mechanics of trigger function. Oh, when they started, if I have a button and a second button, if I build a machine gun, first off,
Or
pause.
if it's voice
uh,
activated, if Siri runs my machine gun.
yeah,
Dude,
I'm positive that you can still submit a paper form.
yeah, I mean that I've only submitted paper forms. I have not submitted an e-form ever, and whether e-forms is in existence or not, you can always submit paper forms.
Yes. Yeah. 95% of all forms are e-forms, though only 5% of paper, and paper take a long time
Whoa.
Yeah.
because they have one person that does paper.
Just one. That's not a joke.
No, well, I'm sure they have more right now because the people doing the e-forms probably have nothing to do.
Dude, I'll tell you, I've gotten several. I got a little stamp collection before I realized that NFA items were a total, like completely, against our natural rights and everything. It took me a little bit to wake up, right? Now, back then, NFA items were like held up on a pedestal and, like, oh, it's got to be NFA. It's kind of like the you can't have it, so you got to have it kind of thing. Um, but I have several forms that were signed by the same person, the same processor. So I believe that.
Yes to ADU. When eForms first launched, they had 6 people working, and then they went down to 1 for paper.
Dude, when eForms first launched, it was an absolute nightmare. I mean, I still haven't personally used it, but I would say it's come a long way. But look where we are right now.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens. But just wanted to get this information out to everyone and let them know we are working on it. We are trying to pressure it to be turned back on. There are some people, pretty high level people in the federal government, that are pressing it, and there are people working behind the scenes on it. More to come.
Yeah. And shout out again for Jonah with Big Mac Defense for hitting me up and put me on. I just asked him before we went live. I was like, dude, can I say that you were the one that gave me the info? So shout out to you. And Big Mac Defense is an excellent source for all of your NFA and pewing needs.
280 $5 super chat, and shout out to the other sources who want to remain anonymous, and there's a good reason for that.
Do their pay stubs say GTF? So I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Jokes.
No, there's a good reason for them wanting to remain anonymous and not wanting to be named at all.
Oh, there are no more names. So Jay Tooch says now they all have generic electric signatures. No more names.
Yeah, they do.
So it says like processor 17 or something like that.
No, it doesn't say that. It's just approved.
Wow. That sounds easy to counterfeit.
Yeah.
Don't counterfeit tax stamps though, guys. That's not wise.
Yeah. Do so at your own risk.
Yeah.
If they have money for tweeting, they have money for some other people.
Yeah.
100%, but
beautiful picture.
yeah. Yeah, so we'll see.
Which needs so Drew Bradley says, I remember the first week the eForms e-sign which needs reformed to null. That website crashed about every 45 minutes somewhere in the, oh yeah, it was terrible. In the beginning, I remember when they first launched, and then after, I don't know, a matter of a couple months, all the FFL dealers, everyone was like, yeah, no, don't do that. It's not ready. It's not ready. They completely shut down and then kicked it back up later. And it still was, it was breaking constantly. It's appalling to see how negligent and just ill. It's a disaster.
Honestly, until I got the third-party verification, I thought I was trying to be set up by the ATF for some reason.
Okay, that they were poisoning the data stream.
Yeah, then the third-party
That
verification was pretty solid.
Yeah, but how if I called you Tuesday, that you think that the ATF would poison my data stream?
Well,
would be a complex
I
stream.
got the tip dropped in. Well, the tip that was dropped in onto the tip box, bstips@protonmail.com. Actually, I didn't look at it because I don't look at it every day, but that actually came in Monday. I was thinking, well, maybe they started going to people that I know to try to poison the data stream since I didn't respond, but I didn't read it.
Interesting. I didn't know anyone knew about it on Monday.
Yeah. Apparently, it was people knew about it at the beginning of the week.
So why does it take months to get an NFA item approved? Because they can slow walk it. Because they can slow walk your rights.
Because they're sitting on at any given moment at least 500,000 active pending applications.
Let's see, NFA application. I actually have the data here. Give me 1 second.
But also the reason they're sitting on 500,000 is because they're mismanaged dirtbags. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. At the end of December, there was 207,000, almost 208,000 forms that were pending. Like almost 191,000 of those were Form 4s.
And are those Eforms?
That's just all forms.
All forms. Gotcha.
Yeah. That's just all forms. E-forms, paper forms, everything.
Interesting.
All right. I don't have anything else to say. You guys?
Nope. Stay tuned. More to come.
I just want to land on what 28EDU said. The NFA is unconstitutional. The Constitution is no longer the law of the land. Whatever country we live in anyway. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think all of us would agree to that.
All right. Well, you heard it here first on John Crump News, DLD After Dark, and Flying Rich.
Yep.
And with that, we are out of here. Thank you for watching so much. Remember, we are still doing the Bella's Wish, and there's an Amazon wish list down below. All those toys or whatever you buy will go to the Ronald McDonald House, and it will help out a sick kid. Yeah, I have my cough button right here, so I can talk in to see it cut out. All right, guys. Nice hoodie, DLD.
Thanks, man. I'll be wearing it tonight on my show at 10 p.m. Eastern on DLD After Dark.
With that, we're out of here. Bye.